When the circus arrives in town, no one is allowed to go. Everyone knows the circus is coming to town, and everyone can see that the circus is in town, but none of the children are ever allowed to go. Sure, we can see all the posters saying that that the circus is coming. We can see them posting that when they're coming. We can even see all the trucks and the vans come in, setting up all the tents and all the attractions. But the adults have made it very clear. No children are actually allowed to go to the circus. We're never told the reason why. We're just told that we're not allowed to go. So, every year, when the circus comes back in town, we see them spend 3 days setting up the circus, and then we see the circus wait another 3 days for anyone to go inside before they take another 3 days to take it down, and they disappear. Despite being as old as I am and being here as long as I have, I've never seen anyone go into the circus. Or at least, I've almost never seen anyone go into the circus. Still, the circus comes back every year, even though no one really needs to go inside, so I don't know how they make their money. One year, though, when I was about 16 years old, my boyfriend at the time decided that he was going to go to the circus. So he invited me to go as well, but I refused. I thought if I went to the circus when I wasn't supposed to, something bad might happen. My boyfriend tried to convince me that, in actuality, that nothing bad would happen, that it would just be a fun time, and we could finally see why the circus always came back every year. So, on the first night when the circus was in town, he went to go visit the circus. When he came back, he told us that the circus had clowns, that it had performers, that it had amazing animals, and that it had amazing acts of magic within the big top. And all that we had to do was just go into the circus to see it all. He even told us that it was only a single centie, that the cost was so cheap, and that it was so fun. So he convinced a few more of his friends to join him, and now it wasn't just him going, but many others. Still, I refused. I still didn't want to upset my parents, but I kept my word and I didn't tell any of their parents where they were going at night. So on the second night, when my boyfriend came back, he told tales of even more magic and amazement. Of fire eaters who could spell words with their fiery breath, of beast tamers who could convince the animals to build things and to take them apart, of strong men who could lift entire trucks full of people inside. He told tales of flying women and dancing men, and he made it seem like that the circus was just this most amazing and magical place, and it was still just a single centie to attend. It was tempting to go with him the third night, to finally see what was happening in the circus and to see why it was such an amazing place. Unfortunately, on the third night, what kept me home wasn't a sense of honor or a sense of decorum or anything good. I simply got sick. I got sick and I didn't want to leave the house. So my boyfriend went with far more of his friends on the third night. And this time, he didn't come back. Not him, not any of his friends. They went to attend the circus, and then they simply never came back. For the next 3 days, the circus took down the tents, and they left. Even though my boyfriend's parents knew that he disappeared, they never filed a police report. When I tried filing a police report, once they heard that he was going to the circus, they simply put the form away and told me that there was nothing that they could do. I even tried contacting sheriff's departments outside of Harold, and none of them could do anything. No matter where I went or who I talked to, nobody would investigate this disappearance with the circus. All they would say was, no one's supposed to go to the circus. So, even after many months, I still didn't give up hope that I would see him again. At least until the circus came back to town. And there, I saw my boyfriend again, setting up the tents and getting the circus ready. When I tried talking to him, he barely acknowledged me. Sure, he would get out of my way if I stood in his way, and he might say hello or leave me alone, but he didn't seem to remember who I was. He didn't seem to remember who the town was. And whenever I asked him about his past, he would simply say, "I don't want to talk about it." So it seemed that my boyfriend, or I guess my ex-boyfriend now, and his friends, when they were still in the circus when it disappeared, they joined it. They're setting it up every year, and now they're part of the performances. And now here I am as an old woman, and I tell everyone who visits or asks me, we don't go to the circus. Sure, they'll set up every year, but we don't go to the circus. And as terrifying as they are, we also don't want to be the ones to tell them no. One year, someone tried to tell the circus people that they weren't welcome in town. That person did disappear immediately, and even after all the search parties and police searches, they were never found. So every year we see the circus set up, we see the circus perform from a distance, we don't go inside the tents, and then we see the circus take down their tents. Every year I see my ex-boyfriend there. He ages like I do. He's now an old man who can barely keep up with his coworkers anymore. And I can't help but wonder, maybe it might be worth joining the circus, or at least watching it. I'm an old woman now, and the doctors don't give me very long to live. And even though I've spent decades seeing the circus come into town every year, I have never seen them in person. I wonder if they really are as magical as my boyfriend used to say.